So let's talk a little bit about your team. I would suggest that you get people on your team who are able to see the vision for you in the future. And it might not be the people in your life right now, which tend to be sometimes people that are closest to us and who know our ex the best, like maybe our mother or our sister or our best friend. That might not be the person that you really want to have hold the vision with you, because they're so mad at your ex that they might be giving you advice that might not be in your best interest about, you know, trying to take everything you can or make sure you can never see the kids again. And if you've done this process about who you want to be in a year or 5 years, withholding the children from him right now might not be who you want to be now to get you to who you want to be then. And so if you kind of see what I'm saying, if you've got somebody in your life who's real mad at him, that might not be the person who's best going to support you to get where you want to be. So think about, hopefully we all have a couple of friends who sort of have this, and the way I kind of say it is a bigger vision for us than we might have for ourselves, or who see us in a way that we have trouble seeing ourselves. That's the person you want on your divorce team. And you might also want a therapist or some kind of a mental health counselor. Some people like to have a spiritual advisor. Some people want their pastor or a representative from their spiritual tradition or their church. And you might have a lawyer that you want to have on your team, and we'll talk about that. Lawyers have all of the technical knowledge that you need to get through the divorce process. And if you choose to have a lawyer, which is usually a pretty good idea, you want to make sure that you have a lawyer that you have chemistry with, and a lawyer who understands your vision for the process and will tailor the way that they handle your case so that you can be the person that you want to be. So the next thing you want to think about is spend some time thinking about what your highest personal value is. Some people might say my highest personal value is integrity. Other people might say it's love or honesty or connection. We all have sort of a personal value system, and I would write that down in your divorce planner, because if that's important to you, if you've got a part of yourself that you find to be really important, then you want to include that in how you approach the divorce process. You know, if honesty is really important to you, then you want to make sure that you find a lawyer who will support you in moving through the process in an honest way, or with high integrity, or, you know, with love or connection or forgiveness. And lawyers might think you're crazy if you come in and say that, but if your lawyer says, oh, that's not what I do, then you might want to find a lawyer who's a little bit more in sync with your chemistry and how you want to be in this process. Now, I'm not saying that because you're it's just not all woo-woo and warm and fuzzy and, you know, that you have to give away the farm. You can be in a contested divorce where you empower yourself and you stick up for your rights and you stand in your truth and you hold for the best deal that you can get without being mean-spirited and completely selfish and causing a whole bunch of fight with your ex. So I see it all the time. I see people that, and some people actually will say, you know what, my choice, what I want to be in this process is I want him to pay. I want him to suffer for what he did to me. I never want him to see those children. You know, I have people come in to say to me, I want a parenting plan that gives him as little time as possible because, you know, he has a girlfriend and I don't like his girlfriend and he shouldn't be able to be around the children. And if that's really what you want from the process, there's, you know, it might not be the best choice in the long run, but be honest with yourself about it. So that's part of who you want to be. You might want to be vindictive. You might have a goal of being retaliatory. You might want to say, you know, I want to get everything I can because I want him to pay for what he did. So be honest. If that's really what you want, you know, then go through the process knowing that that's what you want, and it's probably not that hard to find a lawyer who will support you in that. Some people want to be vengeful during the divorce process, and other people want to be brave. Some people want to be forgiving, and some people want to be angry. There's nothing wrong with what it is that you want to be, but write it down and know what it is so that as you go through really rocky times about this, that you can sort of pull that out and remember who you said you wanted to be in the process. And along the way, you might want to imagine a day during your divorce process. You know, a day when things are really crappy and when you're being required to produce, you know, more information and more bank records and going through a parenting evaluation maybe and going through a psychiatric testing process or psychological testing. And it all seems like it's never going to end, and it's so stressful and it's so scary. you want to be able to pull this out and say, this is who I want to be in a year from now. So whatever I'm going through now is going to get me to where I'm heading. And one way I sometimes say it is, when things get really stressful, is to say, well, this is just what it looks like on my way to being this person that I'm going to be in a year or 5 years from now. I didn't think this was what it was going to look like, but this is just what it looks like, because I know this is where I'm going to end up. And where I am right now is just what it looks like while I'm on the road to getting to that place. And if you want to, I would share this information. If you choose to hire a lawyer, then you want to talk to your lawyer about it, because you want your lawyer to know how you want to be in this process. And another thing you want to think about when you're trying to decide how you want to be is, how do you want your community to perceive you? Because we all go through this process, and we have friends and family members and people in our community at the grocery store or something. Do you want them to see you as somebody, you know, she went through a divorce and she was really graceful about it, and she really held herself, you know, sort of in a, you know, in an honest and highly regarded manner? Or do you want to go to the grocery store and have people see you and say, whoa, she went through a really nasty divorce. She's looking good. She's looking pretty good, but she really, you know, went through a bad situation. So that's kind of how to proceed with the divorce vision. Another way of thinking of it is, there's something I like that says that if you can conceive it and you can believe it, then you can achieve it. Think about it. If you can envision this for yourself and you can really believe that that could be true for you, then you could achieve it. So if you remember, conceive, believe, achieve, put in your divorce planner who you want to be, how you want it to look over the next course of this divorce process, who you want to be during the process, who you want to be after the process, who you want to be 5 years after the process. And if you have faith in yourself and you have faith in your team, then I'm absolutely positive that you're going to make through this process in a way that's bigger and better than you think.